Last week, we added a new driver and nation to the history books as a winner in the NASA Rallycross Challenge. Argentine Marcos Palacio took advantage of his teammates' bad fortune to take the victory and help his team in the championship. However, will he interject himself into the calamity that is essentially a five-way tie for the points lead? 2022A Supercar champion Josh Klog leads by 1 point over Josh Mertz, Bodie Cryer, and Wesley Wickens, with Brian Sawyer 1 point behind them. And with the street circuit-like nature of this track in Indianapolis, we wonder what will happen under the lights tonight. We will find out together. The racing capital of the world is the stage for the evening. NASA Rallycross Lights from Indianapolis is next. Our venue for this evening is the virtual Indianapolis Raceway Park. Opened in 1960, North American Simulated Auto Racing started visiting the racing capital of the world's other track in 2017B. 0.79 miles in length with 5 turns, 2 to the right and 3 to the left. The name of the game here is speed and precision. The lap begins with the decision, joker or not. Either way, there really isn't a joker delta. It normally ends in tiers of the merge in turn 1 anyway. A 90 left, the wall introduces itself very quickly to your right side on the short straight to the 90 left of 2. The dirt begins right before the 90 right of turn 3, and now you're on the pit lane in reverse with walls on both sides. No margin for error. Over the tabletop jump in the pit lane, sending us to turn 4, the seemingly never-ending right of the pit lane entry into a tight hairpin left of turn 5, then it's back out onto the oval. Our format for NASA Rallycross is as follows. 16 cars will be split into 4 heat races of 6 laps apiece. The top 2 will transfer, the winner gets 3 bonus points, and the runner-up gets 2. The rest of our competitors will be funneled into the semifinals, 5-lap races, and those winners will receive 1 bonus point. This sets the grid for the 10-lap feature race, where the points are awarded and trophies are handed out. Unique to NASA Rallycross, 2 jokers are taken during the feature. The first season of NASA Rallycross Lights continues tonight on the Automotive Sports Network. With Brian Sawyer in the production truck, it's Josh Mertz, as always, up in the commentary box as we welcome you to Claremont, Indiana. Our cameras for this entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com, and our intro music was produced by our very own Alex Abetti. Coming into the third round of the championship here in Indianapolis, the drivers' points super tight for the top 5, like I mentioned in the opener. Josh Klog for Woven Planet Gold sits on 39. Then it's a 3-way tie with 7-time Supercar champion Josh Mertz, Endurance Cup champion Bodie Cryer, and Wesley Wickens, all with 37. And Brian Sawyer, winner of the inaugural race of the championship in Daytona Beach, with 36. Now, this was supposed to be the last race of the championship. We added another race in Phoenix, so who knows what'll happen in these last 2 rounds. As the team's championship, Woven Planet Gold, 78 points, Struggle Bus 74, Sequential Simsport 61, MRT with 37, Mika Esport 25, and Slapex Racing with 18. And a big storyline for this evening is Philip Kraus, 5-time Supercar champion, comes out of retirement to join his teammate Mertz to relive that dream team from 2017 and 2018. So it's going to be super exciting to see what both of those drivers can do. As seeding finished up earlier on, Philip Kraus 42.861, Marcos Palacio 43.1, Brian Sawyer 43.113, Josh Mertz 43.124, and Josh Klog 43.3. He is 3 1,000ths ahead of Kevin Vimont. Then it's Bodie Cryer, Jess Rakowski, Cody Erdman, Matthew Grove, Justin Robichaux, Eric Kaplinger, Vincent Sowers, Matthew Morris, Jake Robichaux, and Olivier Rateau. 16 cars for this third race of the Lights. Heat number 1 about to begin. Our grid for the first heat race: Philip Kraus on pole, then it's Josh Klog, Cody Erdman, and Vincent Sowers. 8 Supercars championships in this heat race, and they're all on the front row of the grid, along with newcomer Vincent Sowers. Getting ready to go. We wrap around 3 and 4. Remember, on this start, green flag. Philip Kraus pulls away from Clog, and the outside is Erdman. Clog's not done yet, though, trying to get the momentum off the corner in the 199. They nearly touch. No jokers on the first lap of the race all evening here in Indianapolis, and Clog still hanging on the outside down to turn number 1 on the 199. Nearly into the 19 of Kraus. Erdman thought of it in the 52 into turn number 2. Kraus leads. Clog, Erdman, Sowers. Several different lines through turn 3. Over the jump and heading into turn 4. We'll notice this section of track is going to grip up throughout the night, but the dirt crew should be pretty good at replacing the dirt so we're not running on asphalt into the hairpin for the first time. Kraus leaves the door open for Clog. Clog can't make it happen. Car length between them. Erdman waiting for something to happen as we end the first lap here at Indianapolis. Who will joker? Will Kraus in the 19? No. Clog will in the 199. So does Erdman. Erdman wider than Clog. Clog to the inside of Kraus. Can't make it happen as Kraus closes the door. 2 real spots to overtake here. It is in that joker merge. You have to hope that you can really get a sniff of the inside line or the hairpin in turn 5. We've noticed so many sends throughout the history of the championship. We talked about last week for the Supercars show. Josh Mertz and Chris Wetz came together in this hairpin in 2017B. Wetz rolled it and ended up winning that heat race. Kraus still leads, about 2 car lengths between him and Clog. His first lap that was scored was a 57.8. Clog was a 58.0. Now, the actual lap times, 395 to a 43.528. Technically, Clog was 0.2 slower on the joker, Erdman 43.9. There's only a couple tenths difference in the delta. Clog looks to the inside of Kraus through turn 3. Thought he could get the drive off the corner. He cannot for Woven Planet. The MRT car still leads of Kraus. Kraus's last win in NASA Rallycross 2020A, Phoenix. Clog into the wall. Thought he could carry the momentum into the inside. So tricky to get that right because you can pin the car on the apex to try and get the move done, but then you have to hope that you can get the drive off the corner. Car length between them as we take cross flags here in Indianapolis. Kraus's last victory, 2020A Phoenix in Supercars. That was MRT's last win as well. Clog, granted we have a feature left, but if Clog's pressuring Kraus this much, who knows? Kraus was half a second up on everybody else in qualifying. So, if you're Kraus, you want to pull away. If you're Clog, you don't want to let him pull away, as he is the points leader, remember. In the 199, the driver from Maryland. Kraus from Wisconsin. Cody Erdman from Wisconsin. Vincent Sowers from Illinois. We're going to take 2 laps to go in heat number 1 to make it maybe 3 car lengths between them. The last lap was a 43.161 for Clog, 42.9 for Kraus, 44.0 for Erdman. And Sowers was a 45.0, struggling in his car in the 365. Clog and Kraus equally matched here, despite that lap time difference. And Clog looks like he's much better in turn 1, into turn 4 in the dirt. Usually you want to hug the concrete of the pit lane wall through the hairpin. Kraus opens the door every single time for Clog, but Clog can't get the drive off the corner. This is the closest that he's been, coming to the white flag. Car length between them. Kraus had the outside line off the corner, carried his momentum. Kraus will joker in the 19. Will Clog be able to get the run on the outside? Sliding at the 199, over-rotated. Can he get it done? No, he can't. Kraus holds the lead through the joker. Clog pushing hard, trying to get that extra bonus point. Mentioned earlier, in the championship hunt, Clog hits the wall. If Kraus can get this done, it'll help his teammate Mertz in the team's championship, obviously, but for Mertz's driver's championship hopes, as the less points that Clog scores obviously would help him. Rounding the hairpin, one last shot for Clog, can't get it done. Off of the final corner, Philip Kraus will win heat number 1 in Indianapolis. Clog will transfer. Best of the rest will be former Supercar champion Erdman in the 52. It's confirmation. Erdman and Sowers in the semifinal. Heat number 2. Palacio, Vimont, Matt Grove, and Matthew Morris. Palacio won last week in Charlotte, but it was announced when that 4th round was added, none of the struggle bus cars are going to be here So Palacio just wants to be a thorn in the side of Clog, Cryer, and Mertz as we get ready for Heat 2. Green flag. Off the line, Palacio gets a good jump over Vimont. Grove to the outside of Vimont, both of them battling for the second spot. 3 and 4 of the oval. Vimont washes up off the corner. Grove does an over-under as we begin the first lap in Indianapolis. Car length between Palacio and Vimont. Maybe make it 1.5. Grove thought to the inside of Vimont. Thought better of it. Morris in the 24 slightly behind. And I think this is going to be a battle for the transfer spot. We talk about that all the time as Palacio in qualifying was 0.2 up on Vimont. 0.5 was Vimont faster than Grove. And we know, we talked about in the Open of Charlotte, Palacio is one of the fastest guys in the Beetle Light. So who knows? Will Grove peek to the inside too far away? No passes through the hairpin for the first lap. And the Argentine Marcos Palacio comes off of the final corner to end the first lap. We will see Joker rotations now. Palacio, no. Vimont does. You have to stay under the commitment line on the front straightaway. The Vimont Jokers. Grove, 2 car lengths away. I honestly don't know if Grove will be able to challenge Vimont. I thought he could, but taking a look at the seating times, of course anything can happen. As Matt Grove for Slapex Racing gained his teammates in Robbie Larill and Jake Robichaux for the Light Series. No Robbie Larill this evening. But certainly, Jake Robichaux will be featured in a later heat race. Palacio has pulled a gap considerably over Vimont, and it's the end of lap 2. He does not joker. Will Grove joker in the 472? He does not. Morris does in the 24 in the back of the field. Grove deep on the brakes in the 14. Trying to make anything happen. He was 0.3 up on Vimont that last lap. He was 0.3 down on Palacio that last lap. So right in the middle of these two cars, lap time-wise. As Palacio for TWR Struggle Bus. Kevin Vimont in the 14 for Mika Esport, Slapex Racing, and Squadra Stunzid. As Grove closer to Vimont, the Vimont is to Palacio. As we're going to take cross flags, we'll take a look at lap times. 43.128 for Palacio, 43.331, 43.7. So Vimont hanging with Palacio, but just can't get the pace over him, as Matthew Morris ran his Joker lap as a 45.427. As Palacio got the win last week in Charlotte, still hasn't won in Supercars, but has not appeared in Supercars this season. We hope the Argentine will come back, one of the fastest guys on the iRacing service. And so many times in the past, he was close to winning Supercars races, but something would happen. And Grove, in the back of the field, looking as he was battling with Vimont. You can run it deep into the hairpin, but if you get into third or even second gear, you will bog down horribly. Palacio jokers in the 83. No joker rotation. Grove does as well in the 472. Remember, one joker in the heat races here in NASA Rallycross, just like the Supercars. And Kevin Vimont close. It's a car length between them now. Make it maybe 2 at the most. So will Vimont be able to take the fight to Palacio in this last lap here in Indianapolis? We'll have to take a look at the lap time rotation as we round the corner. It's really beneficial to clip the right rear on the grass to get the car to rotate, but it's such a hard line to get right. Palacio looks like he's pulling away, but we got 1 lap left in Indianapolis. Let's take a look at lap times once again. 44.847, 43.655, 44.1 for Grove. Deep on the brakes was Vimont. Tried to close the gap just a little bit. Vimont got a better run through turn 2. Once that line grips up, the car basically turns itself. Looks like he missed the corner a little bit for turn 3. Such a tricky corner to get right. Because a lot like a couple of the corners at Charlotte, you would aim for the wall, and the car would just do its own thing and glide around the wall. Very scary to get right. Palacio through the hairpin. Vimont unchallenged for the transfer spot, but he didn't quite have it for Palacio. Marcos Palacio off the final corner will win heat number 2, transferring as Vimont. As best of the rest is Matt Grove, with Matt Morris in 4th. Heat number 3. In Indianapolis, Brian Sawyer on pole position, Bodie Cryer in the 0-5, Justin Robichaux and Jake Robichaux. 3 separate teams in this race. As we get ready, Sawyer on the inside, Cryer in the middle. 2 cars battling for the championship, green flag. Cryer gets a better jump over the other 2 on the front row. Sawyer getting close on the bottom groove. Robichaux way up high, backs out of it. He's going to be battling with his father through the 3 and 4 of the oval. Cryer, momentum on the outside, takes the lead in the 0-5 for Woven Planet. Brian Sawyer in the 88 down to turn number 1. Car length between them. Justin Robichaux hits the wall. His father right behind him in the 69. Through the dirt for the first time. Jake gives his son a little bump in the 69 to the 93. And over the jump for the first time. It's going to be a battle, I think, for the Robichauxs in their own little race. As Justin's still getting used to the Beetle lights, so used to the supercars. Brian Sawyer going to battle Bodie Cryer in the 0-5, in the 88, I should say, to the 0-5. Through the hairpin, nothing doing there. About a 2-car length gap between Cryer and Sawyer. At the end of the first lap, jokers are allowed. And looks like Sawyer's aiming towards the Joker in the 88. The man from Wisconsin takes to the Joker. Will he get the run on the inside of Cryer? No. He tried go deep on the brakes. Can't make it happen. No Jokers in the back of the field. Jake Robichaux runs it wide in turn 1. Through turn 2, through turn 3. Sawyer got the run much better than Cryer, but Cryer's already gone off the corner, so he can't benefit from his better line through the corner. An easy-ish jump compared to other jumps on the schedule. And rounding the oh-so-tricky turn 4 and into 5, Sawyer deep in the corner, misses the apex. Justin Robichaux tried. Can't get anything done. We're going to take lap number 3 and take a look at lap times as we cross. This will be the first indication, 43.0 to a 43.4, but that was a Joker lap. 43.1 for Justin Robichaux, 44.6 for Jake Robichaux, as Jake jokered in the 69. I missed that off shot. Car length still between Cryer and Sawyer. Stretch it to maybe a car length and a half, maybe 2 off the corner. Looks like Cryer gets a better run off of turn 3 compared to Brian, but Brian's better on corner entry. So we'll just have to wait and see. Hugging the inside wall compared to Cryer is Sawyer, about a car width off of it. Cryer was a couple car widths off into turn 5. Off the apex is Cryer by about 2 car widths. Sawyer got it a little bit better. We're going to come to cross flags, and I don't think this battle's over between the 0-5 and the 88. Cryer at the line, 43.1, 43.0 for Sawyer. For comparison, 43.4 for Justin Robichaux, who jokers, 43.7 for Jake Robichaux. Sawyer nearly into the wall in the 88, clobbering the curb to get the car to rotate, pushing so hard to take this spot, nicks the wall in turn number 3. That might give him a little bit of damage on the right front of that 88. Luckily, aerodynamics don't matter too much in Rallycross, of course. What's super important is the steering, and hopefully you don't bend or damage anything. Cryer hits the apex much better than last lap. He's going to have 2 laps to hold off Sawyer. We'll take a look at the lap time rotation once again. Hugging the grass to get a little bit more grip with Sawyer in the 88. 43.195 to a 43.253. I think Sawyer gave up about a 10th maybe with hitting that wall. Deep on the brakes again. Doesn't hit the sausage curb on the inside. Gets a much better run through turn 1. He's closing in turn 2 into turn 3. Sneaks to the inside of Cryer is Sawyer. Sawyer nearly hits the wall on exit. And that's so tricky because once you get side by side with someone, you punch the throttle because you're thinking, I got the grip for it. Just kidding. You don't have the grip. Car's all about throttle modulation on the dirt. That's how you're quick. And Sawyer knows his way around the Beetle Light, holds multiple world records for the lap times. We come to the white flag, and Cryer still leads in heat number 3 here in Indianapolis. He has to joker. This might be Sawyer's opportunity, as it's slightly quicker on the regular course. Cryer holds the inside. Sawyer over-rotates the inside. Contact between them with the 88 and the 05. And Sawyer going to pull a Max Verstappen from 2016 and cut the course in 2 and 3. This might be a battle for the heat win, as for sure Sawyer's going to have a slowdown, and I don't think he's going to be able to serve it in the hairpin. We look at, Cryer versus Robichaux, Jake Robichaux in the 69 in third.
I hope you get a penalty,
Sawyer
Brian.
tried to give up the time in the hairpin, but he still has time left. Rounding turn 4. Sawyer will not clear it as he comes over the radio. He's got to stop on the racetrack. Cryer wins. Will Robichaux get it? He does. Transfers. Best of the rest. Sawyer with Jake Robichaux.
Put it in reverse, Eric.
Second semi-final appearance for Brian
Back it up,
Sawyer this
Terry.
season. Heat number 4. Our final heat of the evening. 7-time Supercar champion Mertz on pole position. Jess Rakowski in the 999. Eric Kaplinger in the 277. And then it's Olivier Rateau in the 63 as we get ready for Heat 4. Green flag. Kaplinger gets a better start, than Mertz and Rakowski. Rakowski nearly gets nudged by Rateau. Kaplinger on the outside. Will he hold the momentum in the 277 for the struggle bus? Mertz is stuck on the inside. Kaplinger leads as we begin the first lap. Rakowski, Mertz, Olivier Rateau. Down to the first corner. Mertz deep on the brakes. Passes Rakowski. Will he get Kaplinger? Kaplinger misses the corner. Nearly contact. Mertz to the lead. Kaplinger second. Third is Rateau. Fourth is Rakowski. Mertz misses the corner. They all miss the corner in turn 2. Kaplinger misses turn 3. Pushes Rateau out wide, and Mertz out and away now. Rakowski battling Rateau. Contact over the jump! Nearly in tears was the 999 in the 63. Through the dirt of turn 4 for the first time. Mertz leads for MRT in the 812, followed by Kaplinger in the 277. Rateau over the curb in the 63, battling Rakowski. He might get a slowdown in that car for Mika Esport. Mertz leads at the end of the first lap. Jokery immediately is the Irishman, ahead of Kaplinger, ahead of Rakowski. On 2 wheels is the 812 in turn 1. And that was an interesting start. Normally the inside gets a better groove. 812 couldn't get it done. But turn 1, different animal. Then the start corner. Kaplinger brushed the wall in the 277. Olivier Rateau, I think, had further issues in the 63, or he did serve that slowdown. He's way behind the second and third cars. Turn 5. Kaplinger and Rakowski. Kaplinger once again brushes the wall. Let's take a look at lap times as we end lap number 2. The 812 of Mertz, 43.119. Kaplinger goes to the Joker. He ran a 43.5. Rakowski 43.5. Rakowski on the outside as Kaplinger exits. Will she do an over-under in the 999? She does! Put her to second for the moment. Into the corner. Kaplinger's going to back it up. Try and get a better run through turn 2, through turn 3. Rakowski misses the corner in the dirt. Side by side for the transfer spot. Rakowski still has to Joker, remember, in the 999. So she has no delta over Kaplinger. Kaplinger a car length behind. You're not missing anything up front. Mertz still leads in the 812. We'll take a look at lap times once again. See if there was any real movement between these guys. Mertz crosses the line, 43.4. Rakowski will cross the line. She goes to the Joker, 44.8. Kaplinger, 46.2. Kaplinger to the regular course. Rakowski to the Joker. Joker merge. Rakowski holds the spot. Kaplinger parks it on the apex. Rakowski pushes him wide and takes the spot for herself in the 999. Misses turn 3 again. So tricky to get that right, like I mentioned earlier on. Car length between them. Kaplinger made the feature last week, I do believe, in Charlotte in the 277, showing progress for the struggle bus as these guys took cross flags, their last lap. We're going to take 2 laps to go. And Rakowski pulling away from Kaplinger. Not missing anything up front. Mertz sets a 43.435. Rakowski with a 45.7, 45.8 for Kaplinger. And what hurt Kaplinger was when he took that Joker, it was a 46.1, I believe, if I remember correctly. He didn't have the best lap. He doesn't have the best turn 1. Rakowski starting to pull away in the 999. Much better run through turn 3 compared to the previous ones, but still, that apex is essentially when you brush the tire wall. You have to drive over the curb. That's a lot of these apexes here in Indianapolis, is you think you can get away with just running alongside the curb, there. But driving over the curb is the apex, as Mertz takes the white flag, 43.390 for the Irishman, long way ahead of Rakowski in the 999. She sets a 43.7, 44.2 for Kaplinger. As we'll take a look, will Kaplinger be able to get this? I don't think so. He's got a better run. Rakowski better than last lap. As we take a look up front at Josh Mertz in the 812, he's going to add another heat win to his record book. Rounding the hairpin for the last time. Transfer spot has not changed. Mertz will round the final
Who
corner.
let us out of the retirement home, huh?
He
Hell
wins
yeah.
heat number 4, celebrating over the
I'm
radio.
putting the padlock back on.
Ahead of Rakowski, best of the rest, Kaplinger with Olivier Rateau. Semifinal A in Indianapolis. Cody Erdman on pole, Brian Sawyer,
God damn it, I gotta deal with Brian.
Vincent Sowers, Jake Robichaux.
What up?
You should just forget how to stop in turn 1, Cody. Just like you did in Japan in 2017. Just yeet him. Just kidding. I didn't say that.
Trash talking.
That doesn't work if he's the car ahead.
You shut your mouth.
Trash
Ouch.
talking
Good
between the
luck,
drivers. Green flag. Sowers turns left off the grid for some reason. Sawyer got a better start in the first phase. Erdman on the inside. It'll be a battle between the Wisconsinites. Who gets the better run? Off of oval turn 4 to begin the lap. Erdman surged mid-corner, but Sawyer has the spot, takes the lead to begin the race. Erdman peeks to the inside. Will he under... Oh, he does! To the inside in the 52 on the curb. Nearly contact in turn number 1 to turn 2. Erdman deep. Contact now between them, and Sawyer gives him the spot. Sportsmanship from the 52. He gets nudged by the 69 of Robichaux. Robichaux battling him. And this is not what Erdman wants to see, as he wants to battle Sawyer. He thinks he can get a transfer spot. Nearly gets nudged by Robichaux there in the 69, and Sowers in the 365, running his own race. Hairpin for the first time. Erdman tried to close in. Can't get it done. We're going to round the final corner for the first time. In anger, jokers will be allowed. Brian Sawyer leads in the 88. The man who did not make the feature in Charlotte thought of jokering, changed his mind. Robichaux in the 69 has damage, had a slowdown, take him out of it for Slapex Racing. Erdman trying to claw this gap back. Car length between the two Wisconsinites. One from Mayville, one from Kenosha, I do believe. As Erdman, couple car lengths behind Sawyer in the struggle bus for sequential. Erdman hits the wall in the 52 and completely misses the corner.
The track goes the other way.
Mertz trash talks
Yeah, the thing wouldn't turn.
his friend and former rival.
It turned right real good.
Sawyer, don't want to say this, but essentially uncontested, as Sowers, newcomer to the series, got recruited earlier in the day from Josh Mertz, has never ran this track before. Jake Robichaux getting used to this car as well, and Erdman, the former champion. As Mertz and Kraus were talking in their team hauler earlier before the heat races, Philip Kraus said that these cars were a lot like the Generation 3 cars back on NASCAR 2003. Lower power, lower grip. An omen for the American. Second all-time on that wins list. Brian Sawyer takes cross flags. He ran a 44.026. Erdman a 47.9. He set a 43.8 this lap that just passed. Over rotates in the 52, misses the apex by a mile. And I think as we come to the white flag this time, lap and a half to go, I think Erdman might have realized that his hopes might have been dashed for transferring into this feature here in Indianapolis. As super exciting to see what will happen with Rallycross on iRacing. As NASA Rallycross will have 3 divisions next season. We'll have lights once again. We'll have supercars, but the sportsman drivers will have their own series called Contenders. More information on that in the off-season. Sawyer takes the white flag, 43.607. 44.1 for Erdman as he jokers in the 52. Sowers in the 365, nearly into the wall, as Robichaux in the 69 jokers as well. This is a nice battle for third, and these guys have been battling for quite some time. Robichaux to the inside gives Sowers a nudge. This is for 14th place, and they are racing like it's the end of the world as Robichaux takes the spot. We're not missing anything up front. Brian Sawyer rounds the final corner. He will take semifinal A unless something catastrophic happens. Erdman will come home in 11th. Robichaux cut the track in the 69. Sowers takes the spot. So he will get him back. So Sowers will come home in 13th overall, 15th Jake Robichaux. And that was just the first semifinal. Semifinal B in Indianapolis. Our grid will be Matthew Grove, Eric Kaplinger, Matthew Morris, Olivier Rateau. So one more car will transfer through to be our 10th and final seed here in Indianapolis. Green flag. Grove left in the dust of Kaplinger. To the outside of him now is Rateau. Grove will go from first to third in one corner, exiting the final corner on the oval for the first time to begin the race. Kaplinger leads by a car length over Olivier Rateau. Grove a further car length and a half, maybe two back into turn number one. Rateau over-rotates the inside, nearly contact with Kaplinger on the brakes, gives Grove the spot. Now Morris passes him for the third spot. Rounding turn 2, turn 3, Kaplinger way offline in the 277. Here comes Grove in the 472. Grove trying desperately to make a feature here in NASA Rallycross after rolling it last week in Charlotte. Into the hairpin for the first time. Way out wide is Kaplinger. Grove tries to sneak to the inside. Grove made the feature last week in Indianapolis and in Daytona, but he didn't have a great finish because of his barrel roll, jokering his Kaplinger on the first lap of the race. This should put Grove right alongside him into turn one. Makes me to be a liar. Kaplinger misses the corner, so does Grove. Car length, maybe half of one, there, between those two, as Morris and Rateau in third and fourth. Through turn 3. Kaplinger got a better run off the corner. We talked about Sawyer struggling under acceleration. Kaplinger faring better than his teammate through turn 4. Grove, car length and a half, maybe two, on the dirt, perfect line. Kaplinger leaves the door open, but he can't make it happen. So deceiving in that hairpin as a driver. You think you can close the gap on someone like we talked about earlier on, and then they just speed away from you off the corner. Grove will joker on the third lap of the race. Halfway home in the semifinal, and he cannot take the fight to Kaplinger. Last lap was a 44.1 to a 44.1 for Grove, 44.5 for Morris, and a 45.7 for Olivier Rateau in the 63. So now that Kaplinger has taken his joker and Grove has taken his joker, it's going to be a battle between who will make this race. And I think that start might have sealed it for Grove, as he's way too far back to make something happen. Still 2 laps to go. Anything can happen, usually does. But with that big of a lead, it's going to be Kaplinger versus the track, as we'll take a look at lap times. 43.2 to a 43.5. Morris crosses the line, 45.1. Rateau at the back, a 45.2. So Grove was 0.3 down after that joker. Better run through turn 3 into turn 4. Kaplinger better run mid-corner and off the corner compared to Grove. Turn 4. Grove better on entry, middle of the corner. Will he get the run off the corner? Closes the gap slightly, over-rotates, opens the door, does Kaplinger on Grove. Grove nearly hits the 277. And we're going to have 1 lap left in this semifinal to see what will happen. Who will transfer? Will it be Kaplinger or will it be Grove? Into turn 1. 277 of Kaplinger leads. His last lap was a 43.6 to a 43.1 for Grove. Grove has the lap time over Kaplinger into turn 2, into turn 3, utilizing the grip. Better through turn 2 was Grove. Through turn 3 was Kaplinger. We're going to have one last sending opportunity for Grove in the 472. Kaplinger leads. Haven't missed anything in the back. It's Morris versus Rateau. Grove to the inside. Sends it. Can't make it happen again. And off the final corner for the final time in semifinal.
I'm still going to send it.
Semifinal B, Kaplinger wins. Grove out in 12th. 14th Morris. 16th Olivier Rateau.
Awesome race, Eric. Awesome race, bro.
As our drivers congratulate each other, we'll step aside during warm-up and come back for the feature in Indianapolis. Stick around. inside, nearly 3 wide of Met and Palacio. Front bumper of Betty down to turn 2. Clog takes the lead. Real still has him jokered inside. Clog on McKenna. Contact between them. We'll welcome you back to round 3 of the championship overall and round 3 of the first season of NASA Rallycross Lights in Indianapolis with Brian Sawyer in the production truck. I am Josh Mertz up in the commentary box as always for the Automotive Sports Network. Just a reminder, our cameras for this entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com and our intro music was produced by our very own Alex Abetti. As we get ready to go green here in Indianapolis, our grid for the feature, Philip Kraus on pole position, Marcos Palacio on the middle, then it's Bodie Cryer on the outside, Josh Clog and Josh Mertz on row number 2, Kevin Vimont, Justin Robichaux, Jess Rakowski, Brian Sawyer, and Eric Kaplinger, the struggle bus on the front row and the back row of the grid. 10 cars, 10 laps, 2 jokers. Brian Sawyer commenting how it got dark. The sun has set in Indianapolis, and the 3rd round of the championship about to begin. Thank you so much for joining us on the Automotive Sports Network as we get ready in Indianapolis. We go green in Indianapolis. Off the line. Looks like it's going to be Palacio and Cryer. Cryer gets backed up off the corner. Here comes Kraus to the inside. Kraus will take the lead, clearing both of them off the corner. Mertz stuck behind Palacio. Nearly Palacio in a clog as we start the first lap. 5 cars under a blanket. Rakowski, Sawyer, Robichaux, Kaplinger, and Vimont in the back of the field. Mertz the inside. Contact with him and Palacio. Side by side, him and Clog. Through turn 2. Kraus is cleared. Palacio's cleared Cryer. Side by side, Clog and Mertz. Clog hits Mertz in the 812. Rakowski to the inside of him. Rakowski takes the spot. Sawyer sneaks to the inside as well, over the jump for the first time. Kraus leads. Palacio, Cryer, Clog, Rakowski, Mertz in 6. Sawyer looks to the inside of the 812, can't get it done. Mertz goes to the inside of Rakowski, gets hooked into Clog, and the championship protagonists collide in turn 5. Put Clog to last. At the end of the first lap, Kraus leads, and if it's something these guys don't know, Palacio Jokers, do not let Philip Kraus run away by himself. He will take the lead and take the win. Palacio can't take the fight. To the inside, Sawyer nearly contact Mertz with Rakowski, and over rotating is the 812. Sawyer did as well. Vimont to the inside in the 14. Battling. We're also having a battle for second. It's Palacio and Cryer, Rakowski gets nudged out of the way by Mertz over the jump. So put Palacio to second. Cryer 3rd, Mertz 4th, Rakowski 5th, Vimont in 6th. Into the hairpin once again. Kraus, Palacio, Cryer, Mertz, Rakowski, Vimont. Robichaux checks, there, Sawyer out of the way. Kaplinger and Clog back in 10th. Palacio's going to joker, so this will complete his strategy, I believe, in the 83. Over rotates and Cryer takes the spot. Robichaux to the inside of Sawyer. Contact between them in the back of the field, but now Cryer in the 2nd spot. He has not taken any jokers in the 05. Palacio just completed his strategy, and Kraus has not jokered either. Really from 4th on back, still clustered under a blanket. Everyone still battling. Palacio and Cryer getting close. Vimont nearly hits Rakowski. And Clog got by Kaplinger in the back of the field. Jokering is Kraus. Jokering is Cryer as we begin lap number 4 in Indianapolis. This will put Palacio to 2nd. Will Cryer hold the inside? So tempting to spear the guy on the regular course if you take the joker. Obviously, it's not very friendly to do so. Clog gets by Kaplinger. And it looks like there was contact with Vimont and Sawyer. Taking a look, Sawyer over-rotated in the 88 and turned the 14 of Vimont. As we take a look once again at that close battle between Palacio and Cryer. as the rest of the field single file off of the final corner for those two. Kraus has completed his strategy. Palacio pulling away, and Philip Kraus is completely gone from these two. Completely gone in the 19. I talked about it. Don't let him run and hide. The former champion and second all-time on the Supercar wins list, and his first start in the Light Series. Checked out, gone on a different planet. Justin Robichaux completes his strategy, it looks like, in the back of the field. And this battle looks like it's going to be for the podium. Mertz is clawing his way back up. His last lap was a 43.6 compared to a 43.8 for Palacio and a 44.3 for Cryer. So the Irishman, former champion in Supercars, certainly trying to make up for the issue on the first lap. And Brian Sawyer in the 88 behind the 999 Rakowski. Kraus's last lap, 42.7. He's half a second up on Palacio, and that was a joker lap. 43.7 for Cryer. 42.8 for Mertz, his fastest lap, I do believe, as we take cross flags in Indianapolis. It has been quite some time since MRT got their last win in NASA Rallycross. Like we mentioned, it was 2020A Phoenix, I apologize there. And it has been since 2019B Vancouver since they got a double podium way back on NASCAR 2003. So good omens for the winningest squad in Supercars. Rakowski battling Sawyer. Sorry, the other way around. Sawyer got close. Rakowski hit the wall. Justin Robichaux in the back of the field still stuck behind Kaplinger in the 277 as we take 4 laps to go. Kraus last lap 42.2, Palacio 43.1, Cryer 43.1, Mertz 42.7. Kraus is a second faster than the rest of the field. Who let Philip Kraus out of the retirement home? Palacio hits the wall in the 83. Cryer to the inside of him. The Argentine versus the Texan. Over the jump, side by side. Struggle Bus versus Woven Planet. Palacio has the spot for the moment. Car length between them. Cryer's got the better run through the corner. Will he send it in the hairpin? If anything happened, Mertz will love this. Contact between them. Palacio gets turned from Cryer. That puts Mertz to second. Cryer says sorry over the radio, and that 83 is crab walking horribly in the 83. That car is ruined. 42.4 for Kraus. 42.4 for Mertz. They were equal on lap time. And it's a 1-2 finish currently for MRT, but Mertz clips the curb. Commentators curse, and the 8.12 gets passed by Cryer. Sawyer in the 4th spot hits the wall in front of his teammate Palacio. Rakowski and Clog. Clog still trying to make his way up this order. We'll have to take a look. Palacio gets checked out of the way from Rakowski and from Clog. His car demolished in the 83, nothing of his own doing. Will Clog send it on the 999 Rakowski? Hogs the curb, checks her in the 999. Clog should have the run through the corner. Will Mertz have anything for Cryer for the 2nd spot? Clog still battling Rakowski as they take 2 laps to go for the 5th spot. Deep on the brakes. Clog takes the spot. Mertz right behind Cryer in the 05. Mertz hits the wall just like Sawyer did in the heat race earlier. And that might have sealed it for him. Granted, there's a lap left, but that's still a huge margin to make up in a lap here in Indianapolis. We'll have 1 lap to go for Philip Kraus in car number 19, who has been in the ASN retirement home commentary box for quite a few seasons, trying to score yet another victory in the NASA Rallycross Challenge. It would be his 25th overall in the championship if we combine all the series together. We'll just have to wait and see. Sawyer 4th, 5th Clog, 6th Rakowski. That running order looks like it has not changed. Mertz and Cryer battling for the 2nd spot. Might have made me to be a liar. Mertz will have one last shot in the hairpin to make anything happen against Cryer. Kraus enters the hairpin. No issue there. His last lap is a 42.4. He is flying. Cryer couldn't get the car to rotate through the corner. Mertz will send it to the inside. Will he make it happen? Contact between them. He will not. Kraus wins in Indianapolis. His 25th win in NASA overall. His first in 3 years. Cryer survives and finishes 2nd. Mertz, double podium as he comes home in 3rd. 4th Clog, 5th Rakowski, 6th Kaplinger, 7th Palacio, 8th Robichaux, 9th Vimont, and 10th Brian Sawyer. We'll actually take a look and see what happened to the man from Wisconsin as he enters turn 4. He was rounding the corner, perfectly fine, holding off Clog. Into the hairpin. Clips the curb. Oh, he rolled it in the 88! And he's on his side and he's turtled! And the struggle bus goes from 4th to last. Wow. We talk about anything can happen in NASA Rallycross, and it usually does. As Sawyer had one bad week last week, didn't make the feature, and he ran so well and crashed on the final lap in the final corner. Once again, confirmation of our official results here in Indianapolis. There was a couple penalties assessed. One for Josh Mertz on the turn 1 contact, one for Bodie Cryer contact with Palacio. Brian Sawyer gets a qualifying ban for round 1 of 2023B, as he will not be here next week in Phoenix. So Philip Kraus over Josh Clog and Josh Mertz on the podium. Still a double podium for MRT. Bodie Cryer and Rakowski round out the top 5. Kaplinger, Palacio, Robichaux, Vimont, and Sawyer round out our feature order. And then it was Erdman, Grove, Sowers, Morris, Jake Robichaux, and Olivier Rateau rounding out the field. This means the Drivers' Championship going into Phoenix next week will be 4 points. Josh Clog over Josh Mertz, Bodie Cryer 2 points behind Mertz. So it's Woven Planet versus MRT. Struggle Bus won't be here, but Brian Sawyer's 4th in points, Robichaux 5th, Palacio, Rakowski, Wickens, Kaplinger, Grove, rounding out the top 10 there. The Teams Championship, Woven Planet essentially has this locked, as Struggle Bus will not be here. The Sequential and MRT both tied in 3rd with 85 points. And that is basically all she wrote here in Indianapolis. Just a reminder, our cameras for the entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com, and our intro music was produced by our very own Alex Sabetti. A couple programming notes on the Automotive Sports Network. Tomorrow, from Crandon in Wisconsin, we'll have the penultimate round of the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge. You'll join myself, Brian Sawyer, Philip Cross for that one. That should be an incredible race. Crandon always produces when we go there. And then next Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ASN On Demand, NASA Rallycross Lights will wrap up its first season. What an incredible season it has been, and so excited that we will for sure continue this series into 2023B and beyond. As the checkered flag falls on the evening, from all of us at the Automotive Sports Network, from Brian Sawyer, my name is Josh Mertz, as we hope you enjoyed today's coverage of NASA Rallycross Lights tonight from Indianapolis. Congratulations to Philip Kraus, and be sure to join us tomorrow for Supercars in Crandon, or next Sunday for the finale of Lights in Phoenix. But until then, so long, everyone.